Sophie, could you be in better nick?
Yep, I could be in Steve Smith nick. That's usually pretty decent. Look, cricket's a pretty fickle game, and I know that you're not always informed, so I'm trying to make the most of it, and getting some wins on the board for the strikers is what's most important at the moment.
What's been the most critical thing to the performances? Like individually the batting, or is it no? It's just how you've responded when you've had the difficult bowling tasks.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of everything. I mean, I thought different batters have stood up, which I think is really important. I think we saw Bridget Patterson nearly get us over the edge there against the Scorchers during the weekend. We've had Talia McGrath, Susie Bates. We've had batters chipping in right the way through the order, which is important. But I think the bowling has probably been the foundation. Like you say, they've got us out of some tricky situations. I think back to the Hobart game where we defended 113. So, look, I think when you've got a number of bowlers executing their plans and keeping sides to low scores that our batters can then chase down, and likewise, sticking to plans and being really confident in that, I think it builds confidence within the group.
Luke Williams come in, first time you've experienced him, first time coach for the Strikers. Has he set up some things that have surprised you, or is it just all basic stuff?
Yeah, look, he was obviously involved in a sort of assistant coach role the last couple of years, so sort of knew what he was about, but I think he's been fantastic for this group. He's certainly a very relaxed character, but he's very thorough, and he doesn't leave any stones unturned, so I think that's been great for this group. Even yesterday we did a little bit of practice at the end there of sort of one over, super over scenarios, which I think are really valuable. You never know when you're going to come up against that in a tournament like this, and you want to be prepared. So that was fantastic. Those sort of things potentially could win not only games but competitions for you as well.
At the halfway point of the season, are you guys happy with where you're sitting at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with how close the competition is, I think to be sitting at the top of the ladder, I think still
yes, you are.
At the moment. Look, we are. We're really pleased with that. We've lost a couple of games, but we know where we've gone wrong in those games. So, yeah, look, I think the way that the whole team is performing is really going to hold us in good stead for the back half of the tournament.
You're heading off to the Barossa on Saturday, playing the Melbourne Stars again. They would have learnt a lot of lessons from that game on Sunday. But what about you guys? Lizelle Lee and Dupree, they both got really big scores. Are you going to change your bowling plans heading into that game, or how are you tackling it?
Yeah, look, we did a bit of analysis before our game last weekend, but we're certainly going to revisit that and readjust. I think both players are world class and can take a game away from you, and they very nearly did on Sunday. So again, it goes back to our strength in our bowling and sticking to our plans. And I think the captaincy of Susie Bates has been fantastic as well. I think the courage to chuck Amanda Jade Wellington the ball and get those breakthroughs in that over when she'd probably taken a bit of tap shows the confidence that's going around the group at the moment. So, yeah, look, we're going to always have to adapt and adjust, especially different conditions. Don't think too much cricket has been played up there, so we're certainly going to have a look around, and I think it's going to be the team that adjusts quickest will probably go best.
So do you think the Stars might be worried that you might start blasting sixes again?
Yeah, I don't know, potentially. I think the same could be said for Lizelle Lee, though. I think she's another real power hitter. I think, like I mentioned, cricket's a fickle game. I mean, I could go out and get a goldie on Saturday. You just never know. So, yeah, look, that's certainly always the aim for me, is aim for a six and work your way back down. But, yeah, look, we've got to make sure we start again on Saturday.
Do you think that the spark is on a little bit earlier this time? I know you left it all to the last over. Do you think maybe you'll start to go out there straight away and start?
Trust me, I was trying from ball one. I'm not sure if you could tell. I was swinging from the hips, but it just wasn't coming off for me. But, yeah, look, certainly my plan is to be aggressive from ball one. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it comes in the 19th, 20th over. So, yeah, look, I think that's certainly something that I'm going to try and stick to. It's no matter where I'm playing, I'll look to be aggressive with that. So, yeah, like you say, hopefully it can come a bit earlier.
Have you been in better form?
Oh, yeah, look, I think I have. I probably would say that the game on Sunday wasn't great cricket. I'm happy that I gutsed it out and probably got the rewards at the back end of the innings, but by no means was that a pretty innings for me in terms of striking the ball. I thought there was a lot of dot balls early on and put a little bit of pressure on other batters, but again, the quality of the side at the moment is everyone's sort of absorbing that pressure and being able to throw it back. So, yeah, look, I mean, I'm not complaining, that's for sure, but there's always areas to work on.
Surely not having just 5 sixes over, surely you can go the whole 6 next time.
Well, it's funny you say that. Katie Mack says that's the best single she's ever got in her life, started at 20th over, but look, again, that comes down to team first sort of stuff. So, yeah, look, I think I don't think it's really sunk in yet either for me, and I don't know if it will. It was sort of one of those things that it just happened. I wasn't aiming to hit 5 in a row. I wasn't whatever. It just sort of came out. So I think, again, that's the mentality that I want to go pretty clear head and see the ball whack it.
What about the last ball then? You know, after you'd hit 4, surely you were thinking, can I hit this one?
No, it's funny, I honestly wasn't. Like, I wasn't much surprised. I wasn't thinking anything. Not much was going through the ears at that stage. I was obviously pretty frustrated through the innings, so it was just nice to really swing hard with the bat in hand and get hold of a few. You know, you sort of feel a little bit sorry for the bowler at the other end of it. But again, cricket, it's a hard game. Before that over, she'd taken 3 wickets and had done a great job. And, you know, cricket's a cruel game. You know, I could be on the end of it this week, who knows?
Was that the message to Katie Mack at the start of that over, get me on strike? Or
no, look, I didn't have to say anything. I think, again, that comes down to the communication within this group, is that people know that it's team first. If there's a set batter in, that we're just going to try and get them on strike. So, yeah, look, I think that's the great quality throughout this side, is it's all team first.
You mentioned some of the batters before who are performing really well. What about some of the bowlers? Who do you think's really standing out?
Oh, look, I think you can't go past Megan Schutt. I know she probably hasn't got the wickets that she's deserved, but for her to constantly be bowling 2-3 overs in the power play, which is the most difficult time, I think, to be bowling in a T20 innings, she just does the job time and again, and I think she's been fantastic. I think you look at Sarah Coit as well, she's been fantastic. I think she's a real specialist T20 player with the way that she can hit the Yorkers, which is valuable at any stage of the innings. And then, you know, you look at the spinners that we've got. Amanda Jade Wellington is always a threat when she can turn the ball both ways, and everyone's been stepping up in their own role and performing to the plan that we've set out.
If you look long term, briefly, to the World Cup, is this in terms of intel ahead of the World Cup, is it setting you up pretty well?
Yeah, look, that's actually part of our master plan for New Zealand, as we've sort of infiltrated a few different Big Bash teams, spread ourselves out so we can get a good bit of intel. But look, we're really fortunate that we've played a lot of cricket in Australia, not just me and Susie here at the Strikers, but a lot of Kiwi players have been really fortunate. So, look, I think we'll certainly be gathering information as we go along, but at the end of the day, it's who performs on the day, who comes up with the best plans and who can execute it. So, look, we think we're flying under the radar a little bit, but we'll certainly take a lot of information from this tournament.
Certainly there's a comfort factor for you coming to Australia now that you know the conditions and all that.
Yeah, certainly. Look, I wish all games were at Karen Walden Oval. I think I've been scoring a few runs there, so it'd be nice if the final and whatnot were played there. But yeah, look, certainly it is. It's like a second home for a lot of us. We spend a lot of time here. It's very similar to home in terms of the culture and the way of life, so it certainly makes it easy for us to come over here.
And what do you think of the announcement today that Katy Perry's going to be playing at the T20 World Cup?
Yeah, look, I'd normally sing, but just giving my vocal cords a bit of a rest today. So, no, look, I think it's fantastic for the game. It's exciting. It's to add that to an already, I think, fantastic product. I think the final is going to be huge. If they can fill out the stadium as well, it's going to be massive for whatever two teams are fortunate to be playing at that stage of the competition.
Do you think New Zealand could be there in that final game?
Certainly, that's why we play. I think that's what we're certainly setting our hopes on as being there on March the 8th, singing alongside Katy Perry after the game with a few fireworks. But yeah, look, that's certainly the goal of every side that's going to be playing in the tournament, is to be there March 8th.
And given you're playing here in Australia, if New Zealand didn't make the final and Australia did, would they be your second team?
Oh, geez, I feel a bit stitched up there. Oh, yeah, look, as long as England don't win, I don't mind really. But, yeah, no, look, at the end of the day, and this is going to sound really cliche, I just hope it's a good game of cricket, especially if it's a full house. I think you just want to see good cricket being played, and I think that's what the WBBL has been doing so often this season, is how many last over games, fantastic innings, bowling. It's that's what people want to see is good cricket.